The global community is paying close attention to negotiations between the United States and Ukraine, and also Europe, regarding a peace plan to end Russia's aggression in Ukraine. What are the elements of the peace plan that was provided by the United States to Ukraine that would work essentially against stopping Moscow from taking control of Ukraine? There are several. Most important is the point that would cede Ukrainian-controlled territory, highly defensible territory in western Donbass, to Russia. In other words, territory Moscow has tried for nearly 4 years to conquer and have been unable to. Point two, limitations on Ukraine's military, both in terms of manpower and in terms of weaponry, and no limitations on the aggressor's military, in terms of Russian manpower and Russian weaponry. Third, a blanket commitment that Ukraine does not join NATO, getting nothing in response from Moscow. It's hard to imagine the Ukrainian government doing this except under massive pressure. If such a deal were made, we could claim peace which would not last more than a few years at most. Because with the territory that this plan would force Ukraine to give to Russia, Russia's ability to conduct offensive operations and take certainly all of Ukraine up to the Dnipro River and beyond goes way up. And that would be a massive mistake for the United States. Papers are reporting that negotiations in the last 24 hours between the United States and Ukraine, also with European participation, have removed many of the problematic points that I've already referred to. It doesn't explicitly say that, for example, the point about ceding Ukrainian-controlled territory in western Donbass to Russia has been removed, but I suspect from the public statements that's no longer part of the text. If you remove that, if you remove the language about limits on Ukrainian weapons and manpower and none on Russian, or alternatively, you add to that limitations, substantial limitations on, for example, Russian forces within 200, 300, 400 kilometers of the Ukrainian border, that would be a good thing. The plan that has been discussed includes the mention of U.S. security guarantees for Ukraine, but we have no clarity on that. If they are rock-solid security guarantees, like the one Article 5 provides under NATO, that could offset many things. But we've also had American security assurances to Ukraine under the Budapest Memorandum, which were no obstacle to Russian aggression. So they had to be rock solid. If you have all those things, no cession of necessary defensible territory from Ukraine to Russia, no undue limitations on the Ukrainians and not the Russians, rock solid security guarantees, I think it's safe to say that President Trump could achieve his objective of a durable peace, one that Moscow would not dare break.